Hey, just a quick heads up. Content here may not appeal to everyone. If you don't resonate with what's shared here today, that's okay. We all have our own journey in life, so please respect our shit and we'll respect yours.
Welcome to the Own Your Own Shit show, where we talk about the mind-body connection and how your thoughts and emotions affect your whole health. I'm Lisa from Beyond Balance. I'm a nurse, massage therapist, and mind-body connection coach, and I help women to release stress in their mind and their body.
Nice. And I'm Andrea Coulter, and I'm a doctor of medical health and homeopathy, and the creator of the IOME healing system, which you can check out below. And today, we're going to kind of go on from last week's episode. If you haven't seen it, go back and check it out.
It's a good one.
It is. And we're going to talk about allergies. So last week we talked about the anger frustration aspect of allergies.
Yes.
And I think we're going to go into a little bit different aspect. Because again, allergies aren't just all about frustration and anger. Because some of you might have looked at it and said, well, I don't know, I don't think I'm angry or frustrated.
Right? Just like that.
That's the way I would have looked at it. Like, oh my God. Like,
don't tell me what I'm thinking and feeling.
Exactly. That's not me. You don't know me. Okay, this laugh fast will go in on the take.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm going to read what I had written a little bit about allergies, because when I was doing some looking into allergies and deciding on these shows, I came across that every ancient language has their own way of saying breath work, what breath work, and how the word for breath and soul spirit is the exact same word, which is really interesting. So I'm going to read this. I'm going to put my own lady glasses on.
We're not judging.
Thank God.
No, they look nice.
All right, so I put, that breathing is life. And truthfully, it is.
It really is.
I mean, if you're not breathing, you're not freaking alive.
Yeah,
Exactly. And I always say, I'm just throwing this in here, but I always say that, because people always, come to me and they say, can you help me? I've been trying to fix this problem for so long and nobody seems to be able to help. And I'm like, look, if you're still kicking and screaming and you're breathing, we can freaking work on it.
Yeah.
It's doable. Everything is doable. Right?
Yeah, I like that.
It's always what I say. It's totally doable.
Yeah.
If you're willing to work on it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So anyway, I had written all ancient languages use the same word for breath as spirit or soul, which I said. Latin is spirare, which is to breathe. It also means spiritus or spirit. Greek, the psyche means both breath and soul. So psyche means both breath and soul.
Huh.
Same word, two different aspects.
Wow.
But breath and soul are the same. Yeah. Sanskrit uses the word Atman, which is for both breath and soul, spirit, and similar to Hindi, which is Mahatma, which actually means to pertain perfection, and it also means great soul and great breath. So having great soul and great breath, meaning attaining your perfection, is the same word.
Wow.
Mahatma. Yeah. And then, I had written, when we take in something that we're fearful of or which greatly saddens or angers our soul and our spirit, we then develop allergies as an attempt to rid ourselves of this state.
Yep.
So that's what I had written. And then we can go on from that. So like I said, I think maybe grief is another. As a practitioner, one of the things that we always looked at was, and often I don't think it was until I really developed my own practice on my own and started looking into my mom's stuff and things like that I started to see more of the frustration, anger aspect of allergies. Mm-hmm. But what we're classically taught is that allergies are grief, great sadness, and nat myrrh, which is a homeopathic remedy, is one of the big remedies, which is a grief remedy. So it's itchy eyes, watery nose, itchy nose, like that irritation in the face, which we always say is, if you think about it, if you're holding deep internal sadness or grief, then if you're not expressing it and you're hanging on to it, that irritation is your body's way of saying, I need this release, right?
I think I need to do some journaling, because that's kind of more what I was experiencing with this job. And it was just dry, itchy eyes. Like I just couldn't stop scratching, and I knew the histamine response would get worse if I kept scratching, but it felt so good. And then like drippy nose, like
Yeah. Well, if you've had a really good cry,
yeah,
that's how you feel after, though, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So it's the same thing. It's like your body wants to have a good cry.
that's right. And I couldn't. I was almost emotionally stoned. Like I was depressed, and I don't normally get depressed because I'm more of a go anxious person. But I don't know. I don't know what that exact thing is for me, why I was grieving. Was it because I didn't get to do my own thing? Did I feel like I was sort of trapped in something just to make some money? I don't know. Any suggestions, you think? Or
Well, I think in a way it was probably a combination of both. Like, because we had tapped on it about the frustration aspect. That you were frustrated, that you had gotten yourself stuck into this situation that didn't jive with your soul and your spirit. Right? So, taking that in and breathing that in and daily was wearing you down. And so we went from being frustrated to being depressed, which we've had that conversation, right?
Yeah.
Which is internalized rage, is that depression or compression of your life force. And you were frustrated and sad about it all.
Yeah. So is that kind of the same as grieving, do you think? Or
I think maybe grieving for your soul.
maybe
For your soul, unlived soul life.
Yeah,
Some
freedom, and 'cause I felt very suffocated, emotionally, physically, and even just creatively.
Yeah.
So I just kind of I felt like a shell, which is so weird, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
It only took me a month to figure it out and made that hard decision. Had to have the hard conversations, which. You always have to do it.
You do. But again, because you own your shit, so you're like, okay, hang on, wait a second. You're much more aware and quicker to be aware of that this isn't working for me.
Yeah.
Right?
That's exactly it.
Yeah, so being aware of what is and isn't working for you. So I guess if you're struggling with allergies and you're thinking, well, I don't think I'm frustrated about anything in life, but maybe there's some deep, old, unresolved grief. Maybe you're super sad and chronically low-grade depressed about your life. You may have to, again, do some work and think about it. And, so your physical symptoms are always the outer expression of something deep inside.
Yes.
So
Always.
if you, again, as I always say, you don't have to look at it. You can live in denial, which sometimes is a fun place to be.
It is. Yeah,
It's easier.
Yeah, pity party.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Get out the big ice cream tub. Or whatever works for you.
Or the chocolate bra.
The chocolate bra. Exactly. If you don't know that one, go back to the last episode.
It's a good one. Laura Secord.
Exactly. You should get paid by them to, talk about that kind of stuff.
Hey, Laura Secord, what do you think?
Exactly. Or Victoria's Secret. One or the other.
Either way. Some of ice cream.
Exactly. Which again could lead into talking about allergies, like food allergies. That's another big one. Again, why does one food make you react and not me, or vice versa? Why do I react to this food and you don't? Again, there can be physical, chemical reasons because of overloading of it, but if you want to dig deeper and you truly want to resolve it, then it's best to kind of have a bigger overview of it.
Yeah.
Look a little bit bigger at it. Interesting is peanuts are a huge allergy.
They are.
And interesting, I've looked at it in multiple ways over the years. And one thing we do see is that, and I'm going to throw this out there, which I know is going to create a lot of negative feedback from some people, but it is what it is. Vaccines, throwing false proteins into the body can create the body's hyperreaction towards proteins. And peanuts are a protein, right? That's a thing, potentially. Could be part of it. Yeah. Because my mom and I talked about this. So we said, she's a first generation vaccinate. I'm a next generation. Our kids are the third generation. So we don't know. We're like a walking statistic.
Yeah.
They don't know what multiple generations of vaccinating people is doing, because you're not really allowing us to develop our own immune system, right? So
good call.
Yeah, again, did not mean to go that route with this conversation, but
It's interesting.
yeah, what I was getting at is that though protein, so peanut allergies, aside from maybe that being a trigger, is protein is the building block of life.
Yeah, it is.
So what are you fearful of in life? What are you fearful of in life? What are you afraid of owning in life, being responsible for? Because protein is building of self and oneness.
Because that's the DNA, is that right?
Yeah. Protein, your building blocks, your
Yeah.
very essence of who you are. You know, you take in protein and we transform it within our body and our digestive system, which we've already talked about, and make it into ourselves. So if you're taking food in and it's not digesting properly and it's not assimilating properly and it's triggering hyper reactions, again, there's going to be a multitude of, episodes on various foods, right?
Yeah.
And maybe we will. Maybe we'll chip at each different food allergy as we go along.
Yeah.
But in general, for this episode, so we don't get too long and drag it on out. But for me, it's always food allergies are, what about that particular food are you fearful of, or because sometimes it can be even a trigger in childhood. Say, I'm just throwing this out there, but say you're sitting in your little high chair and your little unconscious baby and you're, go along, and your parents have this blowout fight when you're eating something. And you create this hyper adrenal histamine response while you're ingesting that food. From now on, you're going to have a reaction to that food.
We're talking about food allergies, then food allergies, and
I guess it was back,
vaccines.
and allowing children to go through their issues.
Yeah.
And I might chunk that out and put it in a different episode.
Yeah, that's a good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Kind of comes full circle though, like in terms of allergies, and it seems almost like kids have a lot of allergies too.
Don't you think that anymore we're getting more and more allergies?
Yeah.
Again, I think there's more, and I just talked to the lady the other day about this, and she said, her daughter who's 12 is already showing signs of anxiety and stuff, and I'm like, why? I think there's so much, as my daughter pointed out the other day, she said, we didn't have the internet in our face when we were kids and teenagers, right? Now not only do they have the stress of school and trying to become something in life and all of these responsibilities, now you have the internet throwing shit in their face. And, so no wonder we get this emotional overload and stress and anxiety and overwhelm. And
that turns into inflammation. And,
exactly.
And I always thought too that it's interesting, all this peanut allergy too. That it probably is just accumulation of all these other stressors and inflammatory things like air pollution and just physical and mental stress and all that. And that the peanut allergy thing is just like the icing on the cake, that it's like, bam, here you go, full blown. Someone needs to deal with something, because why is it so intense now? Like, I used to eat peanut butter all the time.
Yeah,
no issue.
Exactly.
All of our school.
I don't know anybody that had a peanut allergy when I was a kid.
Exactly. We would just have a peanut butter sandwich for lunch.
Yeah, it's really just in the last generation of my kids growing up in school, it got to the point. I think it was when my son was finally in grade 4 is when the first, no peanuts anymore in the school. Right? And I'm like, crap, now what am I going to make them for lunch?
I know. It sucks.
Yeah. Who doesn't love peanut butter?
I know.
But yep, there are way more peanut allergies. And again, I think fear of life.
Yeah.
An overwhelming response to the weight of life.
There's a lot of changes going on too.
This was a fun conversation today. I hope that you stuck along through the whole thing. If you didn't, well, you missed out. Too bad, so sad.
It's the reality.
Exactly. But if you stuck around and you really love this episode, then absolutely subscribe, because we're only going to get better from here. So, be sure to subscribe and check out the links below so you can talk to us personally or privately.
Yeah, and share your comments. What do you think? What did you think of that episode? What do you think about the whole series that we've had so far? And if there's something that you're struggling with in terms of your health, then leave us a comment. We'll definitely talk about it and help you sort of get you to the path that you need to be on. And just remember that the only thing that you can control in your life is yourself.
Exactly. So for the rest of this week, be authentic, be empowered, and own it completely. Bye.
Don't forget to connect with us on your favorite social media sites so you can share your whole healthcare woes, wins, and other shit you'd like to discuss with us.
We are live.
Started.
And one time only. No.
Yeah, that's right. Haha.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about some little grief.
Allergies and grief.
And,
And I'll read first.
oh yeah, okay.
And then that'll kind of lead us in, and then you can do,
We'll figure it out.
yeah,
It's all over good.
wing it like we always do.
Yeah,
Nice. Oh my God, we're like fucking getting better.